Well, I'm a little bit worried about today, I can't lie to you. We're in an oh so familiar position where we've got one foot through in a Champions League against an English opposition, but we go away from home and we've had some disasters on the road this year. We've had some disasters away in the Champions League with Southend United, off the back of a big league defeat which sees us slip to 7th again, and with 4 days separating more Champions League and FA Cup action. This could be season defining, and we could have nothing to play for in about half an hour's time. Yes, hello, and welcome along to part 143 of Saving Southend with me, Daniel. Operation Save the Season continues as we stay 7th in the Premier League with half of our games in hand now gone. We do not look like we're going to make the top four, certainly not comfortably. And with a backlog of fixtures, meaning we've got 8 Premier League games, potentially 4 Champions League and 2 FA Cup in the space of 1 month, I'm not quite sure how those numbers stack up. How are we fitting 14 games into about 35 days? We'll find out as we go along. If you're looking forward to it, hopefully we'll get those games because it'll mean we've got a chance in a cup. And please do put a thumbs up on it. You can see the position that we're in at the moment. An incredible first leg performance at home to Manchester United. A 3-0 win, a really good display. Old school performance from us where we're strong late on. But we can't back it up. We failed at Arsenal at the weekend. And we've had some horrible positions in the Champions League. We all remember the 4-1 lead going away to Liverpool a couple of years ago, and it all fell apart. So let's see what happens this time. Let's go and have a look at the schedule because we have got a few games to reflect on here. You were with me as we beat Villa on penalties and won that thriller in Turin back against Juventus in the last 16. Since then, it was all going okay actually until the last game. We were unconvincing but did the job against Sheffield United. An ugly 1-0 win where Cusqueta again was the star. Joe Wills got a header late on in that one. A 2-2 draw against Tottenham where we played well but didn't have quite enough quality. Incidentally, Spurs have got 3 of the best 5 strikers in the world now, and one of them scored in that game. Vasquez and Fair getting R1s. Against Bristol City after the international break, there's a reason they're getting relegated. Adamson and Elmi brace, Yocolano and Fair with 1 apiece. And then against United in the first leg, you can see it. Jorg Robertson got us off to a flyer. We had to be good defensively at times, but Lewis Herbert and Liban Elmi, both from set pieces, making it 3-0 late on. And then despite the perfect start against Arsenal via Ashley Carr, it all fell away. A 3-1 defeat with a rotated side. But will it be worth it in this one? We go away to Manchester United with our first team hopefully fit. We've got Tottenham in the FA Cup 4 days later. And then we have got this run of 8 Premier League games where we're playing every midweek for the next 4. But we could have an extra 3 games chucked into the equation here. I'm not quite sure what happens if we get through tonight in terms of the schedule. We'll find out as we go along. I've got a feeling there's going to be some Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, that sort of pattern, which does massively concern me given our current league position. So it might be that we have to win the Champions League just to play Champions League football next year. The board are still struggling. They're still not happy with us. The fans are losing faith. Let's see if we can put it right tonight. We've got a 3-0 lead as we go to Old Trafford. And I know it's a really, really sad thing to say. I'm very tempted here to drift from this first 11 and actually put an extra holding midfielder in or something. If Vite had been fit, I probably would have put him in the holding role. We have got the option to do it with Bernberg or Torres a bit later in the game. So my plan is that we're going to start normal. And unless it goes disastrously, we won't switch to it. If it does, we can take off one of the strikers or one of the wingers and maybe chuck in an extra holding mid. But this is the 11 that we've gone for tonight. 17 goal apiece strikers up front, both back in some sort of form, but none of them scoring at the rate they were previously. Because Quetta stays in goal at his first really poor game against Arsenal, but with a weaker defence in front. On reflection, probably a mistake to start him. Memic and Carlos the fullbacks with Rakowski alongside Herbert. Robertson and Adamson the wingers. Bernberg and Torres in the middle. And it's Joe Wills and Nana Fair up front. 2 players that were magnificent in this tie last week. But we're going away from home and we've had very big problems away in Europe in the past. So let's see if we can exercise those demons tonight, make it through to the semi-final for just the second time in our history. Well, here we go. Mauricio Pochettino and the boys are up against us. They've got Evan Ferguson up front, Florian Wirtz in midfield, so still a couple of original players in the Manchester United side. Or to be fair, Ferguson won't be that old here either. But they've also got a lot of young quality players and a fairly settled defensive side. But I would say that they're a side in a bit of transition. You can see they were 9th in the Premier League. They're having a horrible year domestically. And they've been through a couple of managers in recent seasons. So I'm wondering whether we're going to get the best version of United. Hopefully not. And hopefully some of those experienced players won't be able to offer as much as we would like them to. Or certainly Manchester United would. Into the first half we go. Let's go and shut some of the critics up. We've got everyone motivated. We're listening to the Champions League music at Old Trafford. But I do not want it to be the last time this season. Come on, boys. I need a big performance. Deliver it now when it matters. Well, a quiet first quarter to this game. Not many chances and right on cue. It can't just be a comfortable day, can it? Injuries now. Ashley Carr will have to come on up front. Nana Fair is out. His injuries have been a problem because he's never really been able to get up ahead of steam. And since replacing Dion Kranic with him, I've got to be honest, I've been a little disappointed. We have got a corner though with Joe Wills and we're dominating this tie. But it does worry me. It only takes one goal to unravel. We saw that against Juve, didn't we? We saw it against Liverpool a couple of years ago. One of them punished us, one of them didn't. But still, we made hard work of both. Ferguson gives it away to Adamson. Bernberg nicks it in midfield. We do look better tonight for the rested players at the weekend. But once we get to playing every potentially 2 days in the next month, if we get through here, that might be harder to do. Though that cross is good. And it's a problem we're now going to have to worry about because Jorg Robertson delivers for Joe Wills. We go 4-0 up on aggregate against, let's be honest, a poor United side. But this is maybe summing up what's a bit weird in this save, isn't it? We are the 9th and 7th place teams in the Premier League. And look at what we're doing. We're both in a Champions League quarter-final and we're about to be in a semi, I think, because Jan Carlos has it in an attacking area. It's given a second chance despite a woeful touch. And it's wide to Memic on the right. And now Robertson. Chance to cross from the byline. In it goes. Birchall's clearance is straight against Joe Wills. He doesn't know much about it, but he's doubled the lead. And just as he did against Juve, he's been magnificent on the road in the big game. He's not played in those ties where we've needed goals in the Premier League. And that is why he is so fresh and so in form here. Ashley Carr's barely kicked the ball since he's come on. He's been responsible for the fact that we're 2-0 up because his movements made the space for Wills, who now puts a corner into Herbert. Good save away. Adamson's got the chance to shoot. Back to Jorg Robertson. Adamson again. We can make it a 6-goal lead. I know we struggled against Juve from 5 up. We can make it a 6-goal lead. I'll start resting people for the FA Cup at the weekend. A really good first half performance. Come on, boys, keep it up. I'm not even going to say don't get complacent today because I trust you to be able to deal with this. There's 5 minutes gone in the second half. Florian Wirtz is playing a short corner. I mean, asking for a clean sheet away from home is probably a bit much here. When is the last time we kept one? It'd be a great quiz question. I know we did in the Cup against Villa. In a League or Champions League game, I bet it'll be some time. Good save from Cusqueta there. It's out for a corner kick. And I think they're looking at the short one again here. Yes, Sarpay to Wirtz into the box. It's a nice little routine. We've got back in our shape, but can we stop the shot? No, we can't, because Quetta forced into another bit of action. But again, does his job diligently. Another corner kick. I guess we know what's going to happen. This is my problem, though. Look at Ashley Carr there, the number 9. I've got the 2 men on the edge of the box, but he keeps dropping in. And I don't know how to stop that because I've got him defending the edge of the box and he just keeps running away from his duty to go in there. Is it an Ashley Carr problem or is it a tactical one? I don't know. We've nicked the ball there with Robertson, though. We've eventually dealt with the pressure. 2-0 on the night, deservedly so. 5-0 on aggregate, deservedly so. And if we were going to save good performances for this season, I'd like them to be for the Champions League, in fairness. Adamson is knackered and will be replaced by Vasquez. Of course, we've only got 2 subs breaks now because of that injury. Joe Wills will definitely get a rest. I know he's on a hat-trick, but Elmi's on for him. Memic is going to come off for Aguiman, not Cusqueta. Nearly made the goalkeeper mistake. And Torres is going to come off for Marciano, who is just building up his fitness again after those injuries. 25 remaining. We're still waiting for those changes. We've got the highlights while there's pending changes. I think we know there's going to be a goal then, don't we? Now to the left-hand side to Mylerup. Inside, Torres does well. Looked like he fouled his man, but he got back, which is all that matters, and we get away with it. Robertson breaks down the right. Could Wills still nick his hat-trick yet? Delivers to the back post. Joe Wills up. He does get his hat-trick. It turns into a perfectly timed substitution. Joe Wills 3, Manchester United 0. What a player for the big stage. He does tend to have these runs late in the season, doesn't he? 4 changes can now go. And we look very comfortable. A really good performance when it matters most. But we've got to back this up 3 more times to win the Champions League. And the schedule is going to become alarming. Marciano into the box, away as far as Carr. Marciano again, hasn't scored since coming back. And still hasn't. That one's over the bar. Who do I take off now? Robertson, Bernberg. I feel Robertson's the most important to our 11. In fact, I've not got one, have I? We made 4 subs there, and we had the injury, which I've forgotten about despite mentioning. I mean, it's been a very comfortable night. It's been a really good display. We've deserved every ounce of this win. And we're only 5 minutes from an away clean sheet. Whisper it quietly. I'd love to know in League or Champions League how many of them we've got this season. It won't be many. 6-0 on aggregate, 3-0 on the night. And to be honest with you, the second leg was maybe easier than the first because Quetta not tested much by those 2 corners early in the half. And Joe Wills has led us to a Champions League semi-final, just the second in Southend United's history. Last time we made the final and lost it. Let's have a look at Nana Fair's injury. 3 to 4 weeks. It's not great, but it's the international break's gone, so he's just going to miss tons of fixtures. Southend given 9 million quid. Draw AC Milan in a semi-final. Haven't won it since 2007, but we've had tough times against the Italians in this save. Joe Wills is going to get bundles of praise. He was magnificent. Adamson misses the first leg through suspension. And the fixture rearrangements is the bit I want to see. What on earth happens now? Yep, I've got it right. Look at that. 26th, 28th, 30th. We've got 4 games in 7 days. Who's done this to the schedule? And the same at the end of the season. We've got Manchester City on a Thursday night with Norwich and Brighton 2 days either side. We've got Manchester United. Look at that in the league. We play West Brom on a Saturday. We play AC Milan Tuesday, United Thursday, Fulham Saturday, then AC Milan Wednesday. It's 5 games in 10 days. I mean, how do I even balance the squad for that? Do I try and get the first team through Spurs and Wolves, and then maybe rest them against West Brom, rest them against Manchester United, hope that they can get through Wolves, AC Milan and Fulham? I genuinely don't know how to approach it. It's going to be an impossible schedule to work out. But it's a good problem to have if we can go through in the Champions League. AC Milan, hopefully we can give them a battering in the first leg and just get the rest people. I don't know. Let's go through for the next few days. We've got a big FA Cup semi-final in 4 days' time. And if we do have our usual woes in the Champions League and our Premier League continues to falter, the FA Cup might be our backup route to both Europa League football next year and also the chance to save our job with a trophy. So we've got to put full attention on it. Tottenham gave us a tough game a few weeks ago in the league. Let's see what happens in the FA Cup when we return for a big game at Wembley in just 4 days' time. See you in a moment. Well, Sunday afternoon, FA Cup time. I mean, to be honest, we probably could have done with this game being on Saturday, looking at our schedule for the rest of the month now. But let's get through to the fixtures and deliver what we can. Southend United versus Tottenham Hotspur. And I want to try and go for the same team again. You can see City have dropped to 8th. I'm almost hoping for an Arsenal win now, just to try and secure us top 7 and some form of Europe next year. On a slightly different note, and maybe a less ambitious one, it would actually be quite nice next year if we were in the Europa League or Conference, because I think we'd walk it. And I think we'd be able to really focus on the league then. But, you know, we're not going to hope that. We want to be in a Champions League. And that'll mean that we've won the Champions League, which would be great. Let's get through the tactical meeting to face Spurs again. It's a good side. Shaquille Van Persie still going strong up front. Mikey Moore still going strong on the left. And the rest of it, a brilliant young team. Lee Marshall at left back we've tried to sign before. And Mbala at the other striker. Let's see what team we can put out. Lots of changes are being recommended. I'm not going to make them. The only one I am going to make is enforced, which is Ashley Carr up front for Fair, who got injured. That will mean Teddy Ivanov on the bench. We're also going to have to adjust the bench because there's only 9 subs here. However, is there anything else we need to do in the 11? Adamson's struggling for morale for some reason. What's up with him? We just give him a little bit of a chat because he's done all right. We'll praise his conduct. He's been absolutely fine. He's 29 now. His squad is starting to get towards the end of its generation, isn't it? So in terms of the bench, I think we're not going to need Andre. He can drop out for Yucalano. Muscat, in an ideal world, would go on there. But Marciano's back in form and playing well. So I'm actually going to leave him out, despite being one of the heroes of the last round. This is the 11 and the 20 in total we're going for. Just due to that injury to Fair, I've promoted Magwood against senior level. He'll be on the bench for a few league games as needed. So the same 11, bar Ashley Carr in for the injured Nana Fair. Everyone else goes again because they played well on Wednesday. They were rested for that game too. So let's see how we go twice in a week. We've won one big game with a clean sheet and a great performance. I guess the big question is, can we keep another clean sheet? And can Joe Wills deliver another hat-trick? Let's go and see. 4 changes today for Sergio Conceição's Tottenham Hotspur team. We've had some really decent battles this season, but then I guess that's just because we've gone backwards in terms of consistency. So every league game's ended up being a battle virtually. Let's see how we go in the first half though. Wembley Stadium is waiting. We lost here last year in the FA Cup final. We lost here last year in the League Cup final. We lost here this year in the League Cup final. Apart from Community Shields, our record here recently is pretty shocking. We did win last year's semi-final here though, so let's hope we can do the same again. Into the first half, these boys, they need to deliver. Well, it's been another one of our classic Wembley games so far. 15 minutes, no shots from either side and a poor game to watch. But right on cue, we've given the ball away and gifted Spurs a chance to carry it forward. Oh no. No, Rakowski. Oh, well done, Cusqueta. He got back. It looked like an empty goal for Mikey Moore. He passed it in nonchalantly. Cusqueta's up like a shot and gets back to his line. Rakowski completely caught out defensively. And now at the other end, Torres into Joe Wills. And it's a tale of 2 goalkeepers. Joe Wills picks up where he left off on Wednesday night. But Cusqueta, against all the odds, got back to deny a goal at the other end. And now at this one, the Spurs keeper makes a mistake. And Joe Wills puts us 1-0 up against the run of play. That is fine margins when it comes to these big matches. Because Spurs do not deserve to be behind as Herbert plays inside to Rakowski. He's in the centre circle. He's got time to work forward. He finds Herbert alongside him. A little bit more control, which is exactly what we need. And again, we give it away in a stupid position. This is starting to happen far too much this year. Maybe I need a bit more of a squad overhaul than I previously thought this summer. Because it's got a little bit too comfortable for some here, I feel. As Carlos on the right finds Bongers. Let's see if we can do something special first. As at the back, we're just having to keep a shape for now. Faze works his way through, playing out from defence, and we've not really got the men to follow him back. Ashley Carr is now getting across, but it's too late. Mikey Moore delivers. Carlos is up, but Van Persie beats him there. And Shafiq Van Persie gets his 21st of the season. He scored against us in a league fixture. He scored again now. He's turned into a hero here. Scored goals for us against with Sheffield United, and he's doing it here at Spurs too. As Memic goes back to Torres. Good ball in. Adamson can't attack it. Falls for Jan Carlos on the left-hand side. He's got space to run into. And he's got Joe Wills in the middle. And Joe Wills is single-handedly dragging us, pulling us from the ground and saving our season. Joe Wills with 5 goals in the episode already. I'm not sure where this scoring spree has come from because he's not shown any sign of it this year. But my God, is it welcome. As we're straight at the other end to defend a corner. Looks like those clean sheets. That's what I don't get. The brilliant defensive display against United. And look at us now. Can't even defend a corner. Headed away. We survived that one, but the danger's still not past, is it? Back to Tavares. Can we snuff out the danger? He just runs down the right unopposed. In towards Mbala. Headed away well. Robertson can break. And hopefully we'll just see it out now. He goes inside to Torres. Can we spring it into a counter? Ashley Carr's in behind. Ashley Carr, what are you doing? Why have you tried to lob the keeper when he's in his 6-yard box? You've got a square pass to a man on a hat-trick. You've got the brilliant finishing ability to put it in the bottom corner. And you've decided to try and dink it over the keeper. An almost impossible angle to do so. Oh, bring back Nana Fair. Robertson gets into the box. That's a good save. We need Real Madrid to transfer list Dion Kranic or something. Because Ashley Carr, for as long as he's here, I don't think we win the big ones. As Wills gets the ball into the box. Bernberg's up. That's a big goal from a man who very rarely scores. Joe Wills turns provider, is now 5 goals and an assist this episode. And Peter Bernberg has delivered from the set piece. Probably would have expected it to be the other way round, with Bernberg taking it and Wills heading in. 3-1, very undeserved at the minute. There's still time for it to change, as Marshall's got a throw on the left to Moore. Back to Marshall again and into the box. This is terrible defending. Such bad defending. 4 days ago, you were flawless. The same defence against the same formation. What is happening to this team? We've become so inconsistent. We've become unpredictable. The one thing I never thought this Southend team would be, we talked about it for years. This was a team that had the never say die attitude. You could always bank on them to stay in the game. Here, I don't know what we're going to get from one week to the next. I mean, I don't know how we're ahead in this game. Looks like Cusqueta's got a knock as well, and we're doing more defending. This could easily be 3-3 in a moment. Van der Velden breaks in, goes from distance. And it's over the bar. What do I do? Ashley Carr's got a knock. Do I go for a defensive mid instead of another striker? I feel like I have to change something to get the pattern of this game right. So I'm going to put Wills through the middle on his own. Kivrakidis is going to drop back into midfield. And then Bernberg or Torres will go into the holding role. We'll work out which in a minute. So Ivo Torres, I think, is more natural in the centre. I think they both are, to be fair. So Bernberg can go in here as a deep line playmaker on defend. Kivrakidis can go as an advanced playmaker on support. Torres can stay in his box-to-box, or do we even change him as well? Put him as a centre mid on support. Just try and keep a bit more of a structure. Robertson and Adamson have both had poor games. So we're going to bring on Vasquez and we're going to bring on Yucalano in the wide areas. We're going to put both of them on attacking duties. A fullback Memic has been poor and he's knackered. So Aguiman's going to come on there. And it leaves us with one more sub, which I don't want to make yet because I don't want us to end up with 10 men if we get an injury or something. But I do want to be careful not to overwork these because it's not a great position we're in at the minute. Yes, we're winning the game. We've been absolutely awful and it feels like a matter of time. The final sub is going to be Marciano. But will he come on for Torres or for Bernberg? I think we're going to go for Ivo Torres because he's had some shocking moments at Wembley. I'm going to put Marciano on attack as well. Just try and keep the ball away from our net a little bit. Not sure if it's the right move or not. In fact, we'll go Kivrakidis centre mid on support. And then we'll go advanced playmaker on support for Marciano. Just keep that bank of 3 in the middle. Make sure that we're not getting caught out of shape. And then the last few, we might even time waste, get the fullbacks back a bit as well. As Aguiman plays into Joe Wills, playing the lone role up front now. He definitely won't be fit in midweek. Aguiman gets the ball back. Oh, heavy touch, finds Rakowski. Nothing silly, please, boys. Herbert slowing it down. It's like we're trying to do the right thing, just control the ball, play professionally, but it's not going well. Kivrakidis does break away this time, though. Marciano into Vasquez. Great move. Brilliant goal, but the flag's up. Did look it just, to be honest. I've got to be fair. It was a lovely move from the substitutes, but it will be disallowed. 3-2 it remains with 7 to go. And there's still danger in this game. There's still peril yet. We're edging towards stoppage time. We've got a free kick in a really dangerous position. Vasquez plays it short to Rakowski. Would have preferred someone just to put it in a corner or at the corner flag there. Marciano works down the right. It's a poor ball back. Bernberg just about keeps it to Carlos, who's for some reason on the right wing. Not sure about the discipline here, but I am sure that Joe Wills is going to hit the target. It's a good save. Marciano gets it again, though. Carlos to Vasquez. Must wrap it up. Does wrap it up. We're going to the FA Cup final. And what has been a really difficult, testing and challenging season, certainly in terms of the Premier League campaign, is now going to end with an FA Cup final, a Champions League semi-final at the very least, and yet more fixture congestion because God knows where this game goes. Absolutely brilliant finish from Vasquez. He's made a difference since coming on. And you know what? Maybe to think about for a Champions League final, we've looked quite good in this shape towards the end of the match. Maybe something we've got to be wary of moving forward. We reached the final. We've delivered on the single game experience again. But will we falter in the final as we have in the last 3 domestic ones and our last 4 overall? 4-2 the victory after Van Persie and Moore tried their best to stop us. Now let's go a look at the schedule and see what this extra game has done to it, because who knows when we're going to be back. Well, Liverpool will be our opponents in the final. Thankfully, that has been moved to the week after the season. And then I'd imagine if we do get to the Champions League final, that'll be the week after that, because it's not a year where we've got a major tournament or anything. But how on earth do I prioritise now? Let me know what you would do in the comments. Would you just go all out to win one of the competitions? Because if you win the Champions League, you've got Champions League football again. And if you win the FA Cup, you know you've got Europa League football. The chances are we aren't finishing above the Europa League places in the league. If we finish 8th in the league, we're going to get Europa Conference. So it's not like it's going to be a disaster, and we should win some games. But do you think I should go all out to try and win the Champions League now? I feel like it's almost our only route back into Champions League football next season. With the schedule we've got, we can't really prioritise the league anyway, can we? Because we're playing every 2 days in some weeks, and that's going to make it impossible to play the first 11. What would you prioritise? How on earth would you approach it? Let me know in the comment section below. We are going to be back for hopefully 2 more episodes this season. The first one we're going to do... In fact, do I have to do a double header? No, because we battered United in the league, so I don't want to do that. We're going to come back for the second leg at home to Milan and for Liverpool away in the Premier League. Liverpool are justifiably taking our crown after we've had it for 4 years in the Premier League. They deserve the guard of honour they'll probably be getting by that fixture. And to be fair, they're the side that have taken our medals. They deserve to have it. And we're going to come and watch them humiliate us to take the Premier League title. And it will also be a dress rehearsal and serve the purpose of being our scouting mission for the episode after, where we'll show the FA Cup final and hopefully a Champions League final as well. If you're looking forward to it, if you did enjoy this one, a brilliant performance away in the Champions League and a thriller where we got a bit lucky in the FA Cup, then please do put a thumbs up on it. Where has Joe Will's form come from? Who really cares when he's playing this well? He's going to need to keep it up for another 6 weeks or so yet. And how on earth do we deal with the fixture congestion? Do I literally just start throwing Premier League games? Will it still get me sacked if I then fail in the other 2? Could be a fun finale to this season, couldn't it? If you want to stay up to date and find out, subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We'll be back on Monday to start another eventful week as we finish season 16, hopefully in style with Southend United. Between now and then, though, go back and have a look at this week's coach's head from Tuesday. Let me know what you would do, and we'll decide whether we'll carry on the save from that point there. There's also plenty on Twitch and on the football podcast. We're live there tonight to watch some Championship football, and of course across Twitch at the weekend as always. Thank you very much for watching, for being here and supporting the channel. Southend United are inconsistent, but this is hotting up. We've got a chance at 2 trophies yet. If we can win the Champions League, the whole struggle this season would be worth it.